So tell me about the YM back then. What was it like, and what were the people like? What was the culture there like?
People were fantastic. The rugby players were brilliant. I really enjoyed coming and watching the rugby and going in the bar afterwards and everything. And the old YM, that was good. Yeah, there was you went into the old downstairs. There was an old huge room with a cafeteria in it and all easy chairs and tables, and everybody was just lounging around, or they go off and play pool or whatever, and everybody knew each other. It was really, really nice. Yeah, it always has been a very friendly place, the YM. I went to a gym the other day for the first time. Nobody speaks to anybody at the YM. They all speak to each other, Apparently when you've been going 40 years, everybody does know you. So, but it's just so friendly and nice at the YM. And then we built this new place, and this is good.
Yeah.
Coming here. I left 2 years ago, so only because of the travelling, really. Just to drive here for nearly an hour and then do an hour's class and then drive home, it was just a big chunk out of the day.
So you still train now then?
Oh yes, I train in the park with the army now. So and like I say, I've just gone to this new gym which is connected to the club where Howard plays golf. So he's got me a membership there. So, but I prefer the park.
What kind of workout do you do now then?
Oh, it's still circuit. Well, it's not circuit. It's circuit training without any equipment. There's still press-ups, running press-ups, sit-ups, squats, anything. Leopard crawling through the grass. It's brilliant. I'm a maniac. I've always loved training, and I just get such a high out of it. I don't know why. I don't know. My parents, Dad was a bit of a sports person, but nobody else in the family is. Just me.
Yeah, people must think you're mad.
Yes. So, but I've made so many nice friends here, and I started coming and doing the Keep Fit, and then and you join the class, and then when Bernard Selby started taking the ladies, he'd take us out and running around the streets and everything as part of the class, and then I just took off from there and led to marathon running, and I've done 10 marathons. So so I'm quite pleased with that over a space of time. Don't do them anymore now.
What sort of time? What was your best time?
3:56:18.
Gosh.
That was me, sat in London, that one.
Yeah.
And the slowest one was Manchester, and we were pushing Stephen Sharple around in his pushchair, and we made it into a chariot, and he was dressed as the Roman emperor, and we dressed all in togas, and we pushed him all the way around the course, collecting money and everything. It was brilliant. That took about 5.5 hours to do that, but that was a good, worthwhile marathon to do.
Yeah.
That was good.
Great.
Yeah. And coming here, we used to do weekends away, and we'd go to Lakeside and have activity weekends away. They were fantastic. You get there on the Friday and just settle into the rooms. There's like 2 or 4 in a room, and then we'd go to the pub for a drink and something to eat, and then in the morning we'd start activities in the morning, and 7:30 doing a warm-up, then a bit of breakfast, and then the activity of the day, either rock climbing or abseiling, canoeing, orienteering, archery, everything. We did everything.
Wow.
Oh, it was brilliant. It didn't matter if it was raining, just went out and did it. And then at night we'd go out for a drink, and Sunday try and get rid of the hangover by doing the same things, and then come home about 4 o'clock on the Sunday afternoon. Brilliant weekends away. But the insurance pushed the price up, so they got far too expensive, so we stopped doing that. But really good. Yeah, I remember one trip we were out, and we were in the canoes, and with the instructors, and we sailed up. We canoed up to the cafe, and we got out and had a brew as we always did, and then got back in. And one of the lads said, "What's it?" We all had life jackets on, and he said, "What's this hook for?" And the instructor said, "That's if you get in the water and you can't get out, the helicopter winches you up." So we were having a laugh about that. And when we got back in the boats to come back after the coffee, two lads got in their boat and they sat back to back instead of facing the same way. And this particular boat, they were going back, and they rolled the canoe. And Will went under and he came up and he said, "I thought I'd been hit by an intercept missile." And he was like that with his hanger. He says, "Where's the helicopter?" I'll never forget that day. It was just brilliant. And of course the instructor had to empty the canoe then and get these two back in the canoes. Just silly things like that.
Yeah,
Oh,
really quick-witted.
Yeah. Oh, it was brilliant.
Mm.
Yeah. Oh, we have many a laugh.
Mm.
Too many stories to tell. All stored up here for future days when I can't do anything, just except think.
Yeah. Good memories.
Yeah.
Mm.
I introduced my best friend here, Sue, and so she lived in Bollington, and she was the chairman of the Harriers, and in Bollington. And when we moved up there, we took a pub up there, and so she introduced me to the area and took me out running and everything. So I brought her down here, and well, it started off at the old place, and then we came down here. And she just loved it. She'd never seen anything like it before. And she loved everybody and everything. So fortunately, I lost her 2.5 years ago to cancer. But we've had some good times, some good weekends away with her and everything. And yeah.
What was it like being? Because you were one of the first women then.
Yes, I was one of the first women. There was Joan Price, who now lives in Australia, and Rena Steele. And Rena's in Stockport. Have you interviewed her?
No.
She's worth interviewing.
Right.
And she used to take the classes as well here. And we were one of the first ones. And but we weren't allowed in the old YMCA then. We had to go to the 125 club and do our workouts there. And we had to go in the big hall. We used to do, I think it was Monday, Wednesday, we used to do, but we lost Wednesday because Roy Jarman, who was the chairman at the time, he introduced roller skating, and that used to be down there on a Wednesday night, so us ladies lost our hour on a Wednesday night, and it used to be at the Old YM as well, so that was good.
So when the women were eventually allowed in the YMCA, how did the men react? Because I've heard some stories.
The first class, I've never seen so many people in a class. It was absolutely heaving, and the main gym was right on the top floor of the old YMCA with a running track round it. And we were given the changing room right on the very top, next to the running track, and quite a few of the older members didn't like us going in there because that was their changing room. Well, quite a few of the older members didn't like the ladies coming in, actually. And I don't blame them. It was a men's dominated club, you know, so why should they let women in? Times change. So but we walked out into that first class and there was loads. It was packed, the gym, with all these men to see us silly women and what we can't do. But because we'd been training down at the 125 club, we were pretty fit. And I remember doing some sit-ups, and there was a bloke by the side of me, and I was doing faster and more sit-ups than he was. And I thought, that's one for the women. But it was good. They soon accepted us, and yeah, a couple of marriages came out of it. But it was good fun. We'd do partner exercises and things. So now they just accepted us in the long run. But it was good. It was very good. It was hard classes, very hard. And a lot of the exercises that we did have been barred now, so they're all, yeah, doing squats with somebody on your back and hyperextensions and things like that. So, and parallel bars, doing press-ups on parallel bars. And they've all been stopped for some reason. Doesn't mean no harm. I'm still going 40 years later.
Yeah.
It was good, yeah. And then we'd all go into Cox's bar after the class and get to know each other socially.
Yeah, I've heard some stories about Cox's bar.
Oh, yeah. Ida. We were in there one night, and with the Halle being next door, the Halle used to come in when they'd finished. And of course, we were in and we were having a sing-song, and this woman came and joined us, and she stood on the table in the midst of all, and she was an opera singer, and she just blasted out this, and it was brilliant. We were all like staring at, absolutely fantastic. Yeah, we've had some good nights in there.
So this was the Halle Orchestra then, was it?
Yes, yeah, they used to come in. All in the dicky bows. We'd be in our casuals and they'd be there. Yeah.
And did you used to mix then?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was good fun. Yeah. That was when, in the days when you could drink and drive. And we lived in Bury then, and we used to drive home. Tell me to stay in a straight line. Oh dear. Yeah, we used to do that when we had the children in the back. Very naughty. After the rugby club, after the rugby games and that, go in and have a few pints and then drive home.
Did you that's great that you still managed to train while you had the children as well, and because often
yes,
life ends for women,
but
doesn't it?
When you have children. And I never trained at school really. I swam. I used to swim for Manchester. And but we were never introduced to training, and I don't like contact sports, so I'm not very good at basketball or netball or rounders. I was all right because I was a fielder, so I was out by myself. But I'm not very good at contact sports. No. Even now, we have silly games where I train now, and it's like, oh, I'm just out on the sides. It's like, you lot play then, and I'll just stand here and pretend I'm joining in. So to go training and then start running from it as well, that was just ideal for me. Yeah, and running, you can just go wherever you want to, get the babies to bed and right, Howard's in tonight for a change. So I'd go off and do a little run round the block, and it got bigger and bigger. And so I was running marathons then. And then we moved over to Congleton, and I met a lady who lived up the road, and she was a runner as well, so that was ideal. We used to just go out running together. But no, it's the YM. No, I was sorry when I left, but it was just necessity really to leave. And one of the friends I met from here, Dillis, she's coming down, and we're going to go have lunch together in a bit. She's in the gym now.
Great.
So yeah, I still come down and meet them all and things. So.
Yeah. Tell me about a few of the characters that stick in your mind then, or the long-term YM members. Are there any that...
There was Dennis Bushall. He was a member, and then he became a staff member. And he'd take us out on runs, and we'd have to do exercises along the way. If there's a low wall, we'd have to do press-ups on the low wall or whatever. I remember we went out for a run, and we had to walk along the wall of a bridge. We had to walk, and there was such a drop down there, and he had us balancing over this, petrified, and we swam across a lake. And I was and climbed out onto the island, walked across the island and swam, and all the fishermen are shouting at us. No, Dennis was definitely a character. He's so hyper. He used to take the classes and as a member, and then as a member of staff as well, and he used to take us off for weekends as well. And the last time I went on a weekend with the YM, a guy whose name I can't remember, was organising it a couple of years ago, and we went up to the lakes and we did a walk up there, and it was snowing. It was in January. It was thick snow, and we got halfway up this mountain. I said, I'm not going any further, and Dennis Busher was there. Come on, Chris, you can do this. I said, no, it's dangerous. Climbing up's all right, it's getting back down. So I turned round and went back, and then he went. They all came back down eventually. Next morning, he's putting all his waterproofs on and everything. And where are you going, then? I'm going to walk up the waterfall in the snow. And he's just super fit. He was really. It'd give you his right arm. He was such a lovely man, but he was very hyper. Very nice man.
I think Sylvia told me about him, actually. She said he had no regard for health and safety.
Oh, God, none at all. None at all. Yes. He'd just say, right, you need such and such a thing we're going to do. I went rock climbing with him once. Not rock climbing, caving. I hate caving. And we went up the old man at Coniston, and there's a big cave there. Well, it was a working mine, and they closed it because it was dangerous. What do we do? Go in it. And he told us to all take little night lights with us. So we go in, and Sue's in front of me, and I'm just holding onto her backpack because I've got my eyes shut. And she said, I can feel you trembling through the backpack. And I said, I'm frightened to death. And she says, oh, look at this, Chris. And she made me open my eyes and look. And there was this enormous hole there and all water in the bottom. Well, my stomach's gone thinking about it. It was, to me, it was awful. And I was just like, get me out of it, get me out. And we went to the very end of where we could go to, and we climbed up this slag heap, and we're all sat on these boulders and stones and things. And Dennis said, right, light all your night lights. So I was handing out, because I'd taken a dozen with me, so I was handing all these night lights out and lighting them and everything. And he said, right, turn your headlights off. So we had to turn our lights off, and we were all sat there with these night lights twinkling away. And Mike came up to me and he said, are you all right? And I said, no, get me out of here. And I was crying, I was sobbing silently with fear. And so he just said, I'm taking Chris out. And he just let me out, but I was in a wreck then. And that was about, I don't know, that's not many years ago, about 5 years ago, but that was a wreck. So yes, as regards health and safety, he wasn't very good on that. We weren't supposed to have been in there in the first place. But he is a daredevil. But he's, he's had me doing things that I would never have done. So he was good at that. And then there's Billy Cooper. We've known. Howard, my husband, has known him since he was a little one. I should imagine 4 or 5. Because they lived near each other, and they went to school together and came to the YM together, and he was our best man, and I've known Billy a long, long time as well. So, he's a nice man, really is. He'll do anything for you. Yeah. I say I can't remember names.
Tell me a bit about Bernard Selby then, because he's someone that we haven't interviewed. I know he was really instrumental in doing keep fit classes. He was my first instructor. Very, very fit man, extremely fit, and he built us up, from nothing. He built us up so we were all stronger and willing to do more, and the classes were very gentle, and then built us up. And but he was such a strong man. He'd sit down on the floor with a rope there, and stay in the seated position and pull himself up the rope and touch the top and come back down again. He'd walk round the gym on his hands, and he was just a lovely, lovely man. Is he still a member of the YM? He had he got ill. Did you know about it? I think he had some sort of brain blood clot or something.
He did a long time ago. Yeah.
And I just don't think he's ever been the same since in terms of fitness and stuff like that. And yeah, he doesn't really come anymore.
Oh right. Was it him? They found somebody at the bottom of the pool it could have been Bernard that they found at the bottom of the pool.
I think that was it when he had it, yeah.
Yes, and he was rushed to hospital. Yeah. And he's still got the drill marks in his skull where they had to relieve the pressure.
That's right,
and everything. Yeah, really nice man. So Bernard took us for the classes, and then Wayne Enstone used to take the ladies' classes over at the 125 as well. And then a guy called Bernard Horton. He's not a member here anymore. He was really fit. He was he upped the training a notch, and he was excellent. A milkman, he was. So yeah. And
did you know many of the wrestling club, because they've got a whole reputation in themselves, haven't they?
They have, really. No, I only I knew Fred and John Bezick, and a lot of them by sight, just to nod to and say hello to. But yes, when we used to go out, a few of us from the Keep Fit classes, we'd go out on a Friday night into town, and we'd bump into the wrestlers and have a laugh and a joke with them. But yeah, they're just salt of the earth, aren't they? They're brilliant guys. Yeah. They always seem to have a good time. The camaraderie in that club was me top notch, is second to none. Yeah, very good. Yeah.
What do you think it was that created that camaraderie, that culture?
Within the whole of the YMCA? I think it's because everybody was here for the same purpose, to keep fit and make friends. And yes, because you did make friends within the, you know, you weren't, some gyms you go to now and you sit next to somebody for week on and week out and never even say hello to them, or you might just nod. And but here you just get into conversations with everybody and butt into conversations and things. And I think it's not just a place to work out here. It's kind of a family atmosphere as well. Yeah, and anybody would do anything for you. Just brilliant. Yes. Can't think of anything else.
Did your husband train as well? Or?
He didn't train. He hated training.
Oh, right.
He and he still does. He plays rugby. He played rugby for a long, long time for the YM, and he was on the board of the YM as well.
Oh, okay.
And so he was he was on the board when they were building this place. So he had quite an input on this. And no, he hates training, but that he does support me in my training. Yeah. So yes, he's run me around a few places with me running and me training. Yeah, I couldn't have done it without him. No. And friends as well. We used to meet up here and try and condense the travel, so you'd all share a car to go to a race or something and then come back here afterwards. That was it. And then there's Paul Udders and John Bergen, and they still take classes. I think it's a Wednesday evening one, and they've been doing that for years. Even with Paul's shot knees.
Yeah.
It's just, I think you grow old together here, because you come so often and for so long. You've gone through, you know, the marriages and the divorces and the children growing up and the christenings and weddings and funerals, and I think that's why it's so friendly and nice here. I don't think you'll get that in any other club. And there's so many different clubs within the club as well, and you go from one to another, you know. So if they stop wrestling or they stop boxing or they stop rugby, they'll come, they want to keep the fitness up, so they'll just join in the Keep Fit classes and that, so it's good.
Was that mainly your thing, the Keep Fit classes and the circuit training?
Yes.
You didn't really get involved in the Harriers, even though you were...
I was very involved in the Harriers. Yeah. I was on the committee for 5 or 6 years. So yeah, I was on the committee when we started the 5K, 10K. Sorry, not 5K, the 10K, and we used to start and finish it off in the bowls there, and the Lord Mayor of Manchester wanted it to be moved to start and finish to be outside the town hall, so we moved over there for a couple of years. But then Bupa came in and wanted to do the Manchester run, so we lost the city centre then, so we had to do it round and more into Salford and finish off down here again. So yeah, been involved with that a lot, and I still go and help on the 10k even though I'm not a member. I'm still in touch with Graham Jackson, who initiated it all really, and so yeah, I went and helped with that race a couple of months ago. So yeah, on that for a bit. So, and the Harriers used to, I don't know if they still do, on at the weekend they'd have a social run, and you'd run from somebody's house, and so you'd all go to that person's house and do a run, then go back and have something to eat and a couple of drinks, and then go off home. So that was good, seeing where people lived and where they ran. So, and when we had the pub in Bollington, they used to come, did it for a few years, used to come and run round Bollington and that, and then come back, a few drinks. So, and we had a team, a few teams. That there was a race called the Bolling Valley 13 endurance race, and you did it in teams of 4, carrying either a car tyre or a fence post, and there was obstacles that you had to climb over, and a river that you ran along, and very steep hills. And we did that for a few years. We had about, I don't know, 5-6 teams in, and then they all used to come back to our pub in Bollington, and we had some great sessions there after feeding them all. And didn't buy all the meals, they had to buy their own meals, but in fact I've got a big picture of that at home. I'll dig that out and send it to you, with everybody going on that one. So, yeah, we've done lots of nice things.
And you still keep in touch with some YM members?
Yes.
Outside, you know, as friends and stuff?
Yes, yeah. Dillis and Rena. And I come down every now and then and see them all, because I know so many of them, you know. It's nice to see them. About twice a year I come down, do a class, say hello, come to the Christmas party. That's it. Yeah. So, but there's a gang that do the Monday one, and they're nice. Adam and Roy and Ray and Peter and all the rest of them. Yeah. I've known Ken Sharples for a lifetime. We've been on holiday together. Well, it sounds awful that way. The YM organised a trip to Lanzarote, to a centre there, and Club La Santa, and that's a sports orientated centre, a little village within itself, and the YM's been there a few times. I've been on a couple of holidays there, so you get to know them more when you're kind of living together and you spend all day together. With Stephen, looking after Stephen. Everybody knew him, didn't they? Lovely, lovely lad. I remember Stephen walking up and down the stairs at the old YM to ending up in his wheelchair.
I think I've heard some stories about some of the wrestlers picking him up and carrying him up the stairs.
Yeah, yeah, they've done that and kept him company while his dad's been out for a run. I've got really many stories.
You do it very well.
But there's enough for you.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks enough.
Okay then.